Alright, we are live. Hello and welcome to the top 16. Let's go to this screen of the Clan War. We are getting closer to the end. I'm sorry there's no webcam today, it's fucking hot and my phone is dying, so no shirtless stream from me. You have to go to Action Johnny to have a look at those bare chest hairs. Let's just keep going here. Okay. So, looking at the score here, Maddox Reloaded are still in the lead by quite a margin, 11 points. A bit further behind, Arrow Nosed Away after 27 longships, 9 points. And then it just keeps dropping after that. Today we have a game between Loyalist Mushrooms and Arrow Nosed Away. So a fight for third place here for sure. And it's gonna be two huge players. For sure. We have for Loyalist Mushrooms LGB, the captain of Loyalist Mushrooms, even playing his always great Phoenix versus Christian, one of three Swedish unicorns. Yeah, playing for Arrow Nosed Away, one of the few arrows who are in the top cut, the only arrow in top cut. So he is carrying his whole team on his back, and they are waiting for us. So let's just swoop over to the decks for a quick look here. It is going to be quite a tall matchup, a tall order, so to speak. We have LGB's Isao Morisedo, Keeper of Fire, Cycle of Vengeance, Falling Authority, Feast of Famine, Weight of Duty, and Retire to the Brotherhood on Stronghold. And it's going to be Unicorn Splash, and this is very LGB style. It's quite slow, very methodical, quite hard to play, lots of expensive stuff. You have lots of fate to juggle. We also see Hante, of course, and the new Comet of Ancient Wisdom, gonna be cool. Jade runs kind of big, lots of fire. So it is a fire / tower / control deck. We also see Katana of Fire, of course, and Invocation of Ash. Embrace the Void makes a return, along with Commander Tributary. So lots of sneaky fate shenanigans, and can do some cool stuff with Ujina as well. Of course we see Taraka, and this card is going to be huge in this matchup, Sanguine Mastery. And when we get to Christian's deck, we are going to see why. Because he is also playing quite a tower deck for sure. It is GPO, GPOP, Keeper of Fire, Medical Garden, Appalling Authority, Feast of Famine, Pilgrimage, and Golden Plains on the Stronghold. Let's just see that they haven't started yet. Okay. Restricted card is Comblock Benefactor. And this is quite towery. I assume we're gonna see maximum one character from Christian first turn. We see Kiora, which is pretty nice with all the non-unique cavalry here. We see Nimble of course, Wally Shiotomi, one of his favorite cards, I have to say. Series Sertans, Encampment Yurt, lots of holdings here. But of course he's playing towers, so he can afford a bunch more holdings. And we do see a huge suite of attachments here. Fan of Command gonna be huge. Daikyu, new card for Unicorn, really super strong, especially with all this movement and the tower playstyle. Ageless Crone can be really strong in this matchup with all the quite big events here. Sanguine Mastery, Eclipse Knight, etc. And a spicy Makeshift War Camp, which is interesting in a tower build, but it can be quite strong actually, considering he also plays Comblock Benefactor. But we are not gonna keep them waiting. Let's get this show on roll. And they are talking about a new card from the Unfooling Shadow expansion, which is Lurking Affliction, which is a new neutral event. It gives a participating character in a conflict Tainted, the Tainted token, which is a new kind of status token. It is outside of the Honor and Dishonor status token system. It's a token that can go on both characters and promises, and on characters it gives +2/+2, and it costs 1 honor to commit to a conflict. And on a province it gives +2 province strength, and it costs 1 honor to commit to 1 or more defenders. But that seems kind of risky in a Unicorn. Unicorn historically kind of weak on the honor side, but it's only on commit that you have to pay the honor, which means that with all the movement, Christian is probably not gonna have to pay that much. And then the +2/+2 is super strong because it's outside of restricted attachments. It's not an attachment at all. It's very hard to interact with these tokens. Only very few cards, and even fewer in the meta, can interact with them. Alright, both plays on Keeper of Fire. Firing is gonna be huge this game, I think, because of some Moriseido. LGB is gonna want his characters honored and quite big. And Christian, of course, also Keeper of Fire. Christian on first player, and we do find Benefactor first turn. Probably gonna see only the Benefactor. LGB a bit smaller. Might see Dreamer, 1 or 2. Christian doesn't play Assassination, so LGB can just slam this Dreamer with a lot of fate. It is not often I see Christian without Assassination. Comblock Benefactor, of course, drawing him 2 cards. It is a Pot of Greed on a stick. A very big stick. LGB, of course, very methodical, very thorough with his plays. He's gonna be strapped for time this game, I think. Wondering what the correct choice could be here. Quistic Ishika, alright. That's a pretty good choice. Could be a Taraki in hand, or just figuring that Christian doesn't play any elemental cards in his deck, so I think he maybe plays Invocation. He plays Invocation and the horse, Steed, Shadow Steed, yeah, which both work with Inquisitive Ishika, but since Benefactor is out, they don't really matter that much to LGB, since there is already a cost reduction on them. Ooh, and we are gonna see a Dreamer as well, with no fate, so quite aggressive start here from LGB, along with a Forbid already starting the trademark honor pressure that he is known for. Alright, first conflict is gonna be Military Earth. Finding Cycle of Vengeance, probably a good find for Christian. You could see him just poke here. You could see him breaking here actually because of LGB having picked the fire ring with the Dreamer. Then it doesn't really matter if the Ishkai gets on them because then the Dreamer trigger is wasted and all the other rings are kind of bad. So yeah, this is a very good pick for our unicorn hero. Non-biased, of course. I will not favor Christian in any way in this game, especially not because he is both Swedish and unicorn. And plays GPO, even. Which is the best stronghold. It just is. It has never been the worst stronghold in the game. Just hasn't had its potential awoken. Alright, we see Embrace the Void coming on here. Ishka and an Idlis Crone played into conflict. Interesting. Trying to stop some events. I am 100% sure that LGB doesn't play any Earth events, so the Crone is gonna ruin LGB's event suite here. But I'm not sure what Christian is looking for here to prevent. Storm is a bit bad right now. There we see someone will say to give the Dreamer +2 glory. Expecting the break. In comes the Shadow Steed, which is free. Classic combo, Shadow Steed into on a Comblock Benefactor into ready, or just can overlay the Kiora even, and then ready, if Christian doesn't have any interesting attachments in hand. There we see the Disguise home. Interesting that he had the Daka, but disguised home and used the Glory and the Dreamer instead. But here we see Ambusher. So this Cycle of Vengeance is definitely gonna break. See Tadaka trigger on one card. Finds a Scarlet Saber, that's a pretty good find. Another new card from under Full Length Shadow. Basically a better Fang Katana for Unicorn. And also for a lot of other clans who like unicorn cards, mainly being Crane and maybe Phoenix. LGB passes, and this is probably gonna break now. Or do we see any other cards? No, we see Spoils. Spoils of War. So very aggressive attack here from Christian, but you have to be with Benefactor, you have to use it to its fullest extent, otherwise you are not really gaining anything from buying a 4-coster with okay stats, but you just drew, I say just, but you just drew 2 cards of. You really have to use it a lot and build your deck around it. It looks like Christian is doing that all right. Discarding a Captive Audience. I assume he has another one in hand then. Finding a Shrine Maiden as well. Pretty good find. LGB runs a lot of spells, so getting rid of a conflict character and a bunch of card draw. Now we could see Dreamer go Fire. We see Void, Political Void, probably a good choice. Poke, Force and Defense. See Manicure Garden. I think we just see a pass here from LGB, or could see a Court Games. No. Only 5 cards left in hand. What happened to his hand? Now we're probably gonna see either another Steed or Disguise over Kiora after the conflict. Is it Daikyu? Ooh. Expensive. Guess this is kind of nice because now Christian could do the play of readying with Cura and then attack, political, and if LGB doesn't defend and goes for attack, Christian can just move in and bow Taraka. This is probably what we're gonna see here, which essentially forces LGB to defend, which is kind of interesting, but we do know that he should have at least one captive audience in hand. I think. Here we see the fire, so yeah, Christian is very sure that this is gonna work for him. And of course, Daikyu only works in military conflicts. Not very fate expensive, but putting a lot of cards on this, putting a card like Daikyu on this character that is leaving play is kind of expensive. In the long run, of course, which is LGB's game plan, but might just work out because we are probably maybe looking at 2 broken provinces this turn. The LGB is considering not defending here, even though the Daikyu is on the table. Interesting. There we see the Tataka defense. Court games to honor. So 7 military to 7. I think LGB is regretting using Isawa Moriseido on the Dreamer. There we see the captive audience. And yeah, but yeah, Isawa Moriseido is a very tricky card to use, especially when you use it before you get the return value, which is an honor token. There we see the captive audience into Banzai. Does LGB have anything in hand? He has a Storm. But I assume Christian has something else here. The move-in, yeah, the move-in with the ambusher to trigger Daikyu. Daikyu triggers on any movement, any commit. So that is going to be a bowed Taraka. Ouch. Breaks, discards the Tensei Initiate and dishonors Taraka. So 2 promises down, LGB. 3 cards in hand. Just looking kind of rough. He's down 3 cards, he's down 4 fates. But he does have Taraka, and now the Daikyu leaves the board. Does gain a fate from the Embrace the Void. Let's see if LGB can stabilize here, or if the bleeding will never end from the Unicorn Onslaught. Ooh, and we see one of my favorite cards, Outskirt Sentry. Really neat little fellow. Also works on any movement. And here we see the tower building up Kiora with 3 fate. Might see infantry or sentry as well, but I think, okay, we are going to see the sentry. So Christian is going in quite poor into this next conflict phase. With 3 fate he can't do that much, seeing his conflict deck is kind of expensive. He can rely on Scarlet Sabers and Lurking Affliction, of course. Now we see the return 45-bit, interesting. LGB giving up the dishonor pressure. Seeing as he is down 2 promises, he needs some cards here. Also see Asakotsuki get played and Kaito Mai. No duplication of Taraka in hand. So he might leave play this turn unless if LGB gives the Void Ring to Christian. Kaito Mai, of course. Pretty good against towers, and I think we are looking at some kind of setup for the Sanguine Mastery this turn. Could put some glory onto Utsuki and take a fate off of Ketumai and just destroy Christian's tower here. See, does Christian play any cancels? He plays 2 Defender Honors, okay. So LGB is gonna have to be careful here, especially with Ageless Crone as well. Because first conflict, it's gonna be Void, Political. Dominican Garden, classic farming province. Has been a mainstay, staple, or should I say stable, farming province for a lot of more controlly decks. What's going on? What's going on? We have 2 breaks already. You're late, Usagi. Christian had a very explosive start with the Comeback Benefactor and broke 2 provinces. And now it's looking like he's stabilizing and just straightening up a tower here. And LGB is in a rough position. Provinces are a resource. Everything is a resource. You have not lost until you have lost your last province. So even though LGB is quite behind, he has still a lot of fighting left in him. That's the way to say it. And your Garden fires. LGB passes, he's winning, and it's gonna be a Void Ring. Do we see a Void on Cure or on the Sentry? Considering his options here. Getting rid of the Sentry could be good. But it's gonna be Cura. She is the bigger threat and going for the long play here of getting rid of the tower. Alright, we do get into the conflict, so it's Appalling Authority. Christian does have 2 Shinju Ambushers left in hand / deck, so have to see here if he defends at all. We do see defense, so Tadaki is gonna get bowed by the Daikyu. He's not gonna defend, so yeah, Daikyu is super strong here. Puts LGB into a really awkward position. He could defend and then try to against the waves, but that is expensive and risks a Defender Honor. Can't really listen to the commentary, but stop the meeting then. What? That's the only option. Taraka looking at Christian's hand, finding a fan of command. Probably a good pick out of that and Curblade and Favored Mount. Seeing as the Kura already has 2 street attachments. Here comes firing. Probably to dishonor Tadaka. No. Here's the ambusher. Yeah. Nerf Broker, yeah. We need to ban Broker, right? LGB passes. So break, discard. And of course, Appalling Authority doesn't fire. But speaking of fire, Tadaka eats the fire and gets dishonored. LGB again in a tricky position here. He can attack with Tadaka, but then we probably just see a defense with the Sentry, move in Kyura to bow and honor the Kyura. Could see LGB just pass this conflict, try to get the favor, try to get the censures. But we are going to see an attack. Interesting. Manic Garden is the choice again. It has already been triggered, so why not? Here is the defense with the sentry. Losing Cura, bow, and honor. Honor or bow? Not much LGB can do here. He can get the favor. There could be some tricks in Christian's hand. He could play a conflict character, attack, and then move in with the mount that we saw. And then perhaps if he has another fan of command, LGB could be in trouble here. And yeah, there we see the Shadow Steed. Shadow Steed to ready the crown. And no Sanguine Mastery for LGB yet. That has been quite rough. He really needs those cards in this matchup. Even just getting rid of 2 cards is an even trade. Alright, let's see if we can see Christian just finishing off this game already. Going in Earth. And finds Return to the Brotherhood. Which I'm not sure LGB wants to trigger here because of said favorite mount that we know of. Christian could move in some pretty scary characters here. We aren't gonna see the trigger. Okay. Yeah. Defense. Invocation of Ash comes down to 4 skill. Do we see the third captive audience? Don't see it. Okay, so LGB survives this turn, but doesn't gain the favor, unfortunately. So he's gonna have to face this Cura next turn as well, with another +2 extra military. Ouch. There's an Embrace the Void to gain some fate of the Cura. Alright, so we're looking at 7 cards to 6 cards, but Christian has a lot of cards on the table. He's gonna go up to 7 there. Okay, so they're quite even on cards actually. Yeah, quite even on cards. Even on fate, but I think I gotta say that Christian's board is looking stronger here with the tower still very much alive. And we do see the dupe, the Cura dupe here. Okay, this is gonna be quite a big attack. Infantry, you're probably gonna see Christian buying out everything here. Yeah, Board Rider. Here we might see the Prodigy. And Daikyu is looking super strong here again. LGB could do some tricky stuff by leaving behind his biggest character and then moving in. But then Christian can just wait with the Daikyu and trigger it when the move in happens. So really hard card to play around, for sure. We do see the Prodigy of the Waves with 1 fate. And Christian going a bit more aggressive. Yeah, we do see the Shiotome as well. We do know of the Curved Blade in hand, so this Shiotome is gonna get huge. 7 military from this Worldly Shiotome with the Curved Blade. LGB passes, probably a 5-5, yeah. And can LGB survive this? I am gonna be amazed if he does, because this is gonna be 4, 11, 13, 22 already. With just the board and the Curved Blade that we know of. 23 with the favorite mount. And I assume Christian has a bunch more in hand. Probably stuff like Makeshift War Camp for another nice round 8. LGB is staring at a super scary board out of Unicorn. And all thanks to this die queue. Of course, we do know the Defend Your Honors as well, which are gonna be super scary. Does LGB pre-play anything? He could play a bunch of attachments to try to overcome the QR, but we aren't gonna see any attachments. Alright. Full Assault, 17. And of course we do know of the Shadow Steed in Christian's hand, so Christian can just go in for another attack after this with Infantry and Board Rider, or Board Rider and Shitome, or all three if he is lucky and has another one. Well, if he has another one, he's gonna put it on the Cura. You could also see him going in with Fan of Command and Favorite Mount next conflict. So, yeah. Even if LGB survives this conflict, it's gonna be rough. And we do see the defense with LGB putting in the Prodigy of the Waves as the only character. And this is what we're waiting for now, is the Daikyu trigger. Seeing if Christian wants to use the Daikyu now. Which I don't think he wants to, because he can just wait for the favorable ground. We'll have to see, we'll have to see. Very interesting defense here from LGB with just the Prodigy of the Waves, saving a lot for the potential political onslaught as well. We don't see a trigger. Oh, and this is nice. Clock of Night goes on, so no Defend Your Honors for Christian. So this is where we might see the Sanguine Mastery. But I think it's a bit too early. Scarlet Saber goes on to the Board Rider. Honoring the Shitome. So Christian at a 24 now with the Curve Blade in hand. There's the assassination on the Shitome. That's a nice assassination, I think. Could have been a bit, perhaps a bit cooler. Waiting for another card, but the Curve Blade probably goes down on the Infantry then. Taraka removing 2 cards. Let's see what he finds. Curve Blade, that's a pretty good find. Ooh, and Fan of Command. So giving up the Fan of Command is interesting for sure. Uni does indeed go brr right now, Panos. Yeah, Unicorn is looking, for the first time, well, if you don't count Worlds, last Worlds, really strong. And even with Golden Plains Outpost. Favorite stronghold in the game. So good. Christian passes. He is winning by 13. So LGB is gonna need 7 more here. Oh wait. 8 more, yeah. He's gonna need a double storm. He's gonna need. Ooh, there we see the Sanguine Mastery already. Removes the Faith from Kiora and takes the Fate with Embrace the Void. And not using the Isao Moriseido to gain another extra discard here. Just gonna discard two things. Scarlet Saber and Daikyu. So leaving the other Scarlet Saber behind here. Very interesting. Yeah, Cocoa Papers. Yeah, we had a good run with papers for sure. Christian is still winning. But now no Daikyu. So LGB can move in if he wants to. Cloud Mine goes down on the attack infantry. As always, when he gets too big, he gets dealt with. Either assassinated or they forget what they are doing. Still winning by 6. Can LGB hold on here? Christian still has a lot of gas in hand. 10 cards. Storm comes down. There's a Cardblade. Here comes the rest of the gas. We could see a second Sanguine Mastery here actually. Take the Fate of Prodigy and take the Disarm Katomai to get rid of the rest of the attachments, but then LGB is gonna be quite out of characters for the oncoming next attack. So winning by 6. LGB needs one more. He can move in a character, but then probably Christian has something else. So he has played. See, 2 Curve Blades and all 3 Sabers. 2 Daikyus. We also have Lurking Affliction. We have Invocation of Ash. We have another Daikyu. Another Curve Blade. And of course Banzai as well. And again, LGB taking his time here, really rough position, making some tricky plays, and we are gonna see the second Sanguine Master here, discarding two attachments, the Curve Blade and the Scarlet Saber. I don't think that's gonna be enough. Yeah, here we see the Lurking Affliction on Kiora. So she gets tainted, gets +2/+2. Tadaka has been in play. He has been used and he discarded a Curve Blade. And here comes the political pumps. So Christian is gonna be super fine with not breaking this if LGB manages to defend against another onslaught of attachments here. Do we see the third Sanguine Mastery? We're gonna see Invocation of Ash moved to Prodigy of the Waves. Some movement shenanigans from LGB as well. There's the second invocation. That's 2 out of 2. And again winning by 6. Full ground to move in Tadaka. There's the makeshift war camp for another +6. Do we see the final Sanguine Mastery? No, it's a GT. Wow, what a tower play. Kiora just riding on in, carrying all the swords, all the bows, all the taint, and all the spells into victory. Very, very powerful unicorn play. Daikyu really putting a wrench in LGB's quite fine-tuned gears. But yeah, if LGB had defended this conflict, I don't think he would have had an easy time defending the second one. We could ready the 2R, go up to 10 with the Fan of Command, then 11 with the Board Rider. Could even ready with the Shadow Steed as well. Or even Captive Audience again and just destroy LGB. Yeah, LGB was very much behind the whole game here. So that means that we are gonna see Mr. Christian moving on to top 8, taking a point for the Arrow Nosed Away and kicking LGB out of the top cut. One of 2 players left from the Mushrooms, with Comeback Man being the second one still left, playing Lion against Suka Marda on Wednesday, which I'm going to be streaming. And I think that will be when I see you next time, unless there will be another impromptu stream. Please put them in the stream schedule and ping us streamers when you're playing your games. But otherwise, I will see you on Wednesday. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.